I really was fascinated by it. I thought it was so interesting that someone, from New Hampshire could get to know all of these different people that they would never, ever get a chance to meet. And so, I learned as much as I could about it. I was fascinated by web, marketing and social media marketing. Knowing your worth and sticking to that takes practice. I mean, you come into this industry when you're starting your business and you don't know how to price yourself appropriately. You don't know where you're going to lose money. It's a brand new business. I think that this industry is mostly women. I mean, there are men in the industry, but there are more women in the industry. I think on our Instagram, our followers are something like 70% women, 30% men. And I think that there are women's issues baked into interior design with, being able to stand up for yourself, being able to know your worth, being able to demand that sort of respect that we need to work on. I'll tell you the number one thing, this is the gossip, is the number one thing that causes this problem is, do designers need to be educated to do design? Do they need a 4-year degree? I mean, that usually is not a conversation that's going to go well, just so you know, because on both sides are people who are incredibly passionate about their answer. I can tell you where I stand on it, which is that you can find talent pretty much anywhere. You can find really, really talented designers who have a 4-year education or more. And you can find not so great designers who have a 4-year education. You can find really talented designers who don't have an education, that, got into it as a second field or whatever. I mean, it really is about educating yourself through either doing or learning as much as possible and being that kind of person who's always a student and passionate about it and really getting into it and learning everything you can and never stopping that and perfecting and being able to look at your work with a critical eye and understanding that how you get better and trying new things and failing, and just like anything, it's that kind of process, no matter where you started in it. I believe you'll find talent on both sides. Obviously, education is the best. The more educated you are, the better, But if you didn't have that route, can you still be a really amazing designer? I think you can. The reason I tell people that is that Google is like the Yellow Pages when we were younger. You know what I mean? And if you're going to find an interior designer locally, you're going to look up interior designer in your local area. And Google knows where you are on your phone. They know where you are on your computer. And so they're going to serve up results that are local to you. And the accounts that get the most action, like they're getting reviews, Google wants to give, businesses that are busy, that are popular. Google reviews are, I think, probably one of the most important things you can do for your design business, because people do care about those things. They do read reviews. It has never made sense to me, if you have a great piece of information, not to share that with someone who might need it. And there's so many people that do need that information, and it doesn't cost anything. It's good to have like a group of us that can kind of make bigger decisions. So it's not just me, thinking of these things and is this a good idea? Is that not a good idea? Because the other thing is, I'm not an interior designer. So I don't know if I just listen to interior designers literally every day of my life, all day of my life. So, but I don't know if what I want to do is always the smartest way to go about it. And so sometimes I'll ask someone, is this worth our time and effort? And they they're really real with me. The moderators, they tell me if it's a crappy idea and we don't do it. I'm constantly thinking like, what will help designers? You know, if you think of that and you base your content on what is going to actually be helpful, then you're going to win because, you know, that's at the end of the day, we want to serve the community. Like if we're serving the community, then we're going to grow. By putting these questions out there, the designers are like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this. Like, I'm not the only one that doesn't know how to deal with a client that got, was rude to me or, this kind of thing. And especially to see, and this is something that I really kind of in this interview want to shout out to the designers who have experience that take the time to talk about that stuff. They will never understand how much of value they are to other designers to have someone who's really successful and looks like they have it all together to complain in IDC, because honestly, it lets the other designers who don't have these big successful businesses to understand, wow, if they're still dealing with this, then I'm not an idiot here. I'm good at this job. It's just a hard job. And I think that that's what they needed to hear from us. It's like, you're not alone in these problems. And we have it across the world. That's the craziest thing, is we will get messages from designers who are in, Africa or in France or, and they have the same problems that we have here in the United States. And I think that that's horrible, but also wonderful, because it makes us, it connects us in a different way. The best way to grow organically in any social media is to use whatever their newest tool is and use it as much as you can. Jump in early, be an early adopter, and really use it. So if like when Reels started, you wanted to start using Reels right away. When Stories started, you wanted to use Stories right away because it would help you. Instagram will boost the people that are using their newest tools, and so will any social media. If they come out with something new, jump in, because you're going to get more people following you based on that. So that's the tip I will say for every designer out there, because they always wonder, like, how do I grow? And that's really what it is just jumping in before everyone else and doing it.